The first thing to say about the Uncommercial Traveller is that not all of the pieces are set in London. Dickens does go in his guise as the Uncommercial Traveller to Liverpool twice, to Paris twice, to Chatham, which is where he grew up. But as in most of his fiction, it's London that exerts the strongest hold on his imagination. And he returns time and time again across his career and within this book to the capital city. He looks at London from a number of unusual perspectives. So though he was familiar with the city, knew it thoroughly, there is an imaginative and inventive aspect to his writing about the city. In particular, there are two very memorable pieces in the Uncommercial Traveller called Arcadian London and a more famous piece, Night Walks. And in the first, he walks through the city in the summer vacation, when in the very heart of London, many of the workers there are on holiday, so it's unusually empty, and he compares that to a pastoral ideal, kind of rural Arcadia. In Night Walks, again, he walks through the city streets that he knew so well, but in the strangeness of the nighttime, when it's dark and empty, and so London is somehow transformed by seeing it in those moments. And it's also transformed, of course, by his writing style, which, like those choices that he makes of when to visit the city, his writing style also defamiliarizes it, makes it different from what his first readers would have immediately appreciated. He also wrote about hidden London. He wrote about parts of London that were not well known to many of his readers. In particular, the Uncommercial Traveller frequently ventures out to the East End of London, to the poorer areas, he looks at children's hospitals, he looks at institutions set up to feed the poor, and in doing so he's bringing to the fore quarters of London that were not well known. It's also a London that is pregnant with change. Dickens was an advocate of progress, but often had a very ambivalent response to it. So on the one hand, there's a new police force that he admires. The new children's hospital is a great institution that he admires. He is impressed with some factory conditions in East London. And yet at the same time, there's a kind of sadness, almost a melancholy for things that are passing away. So he notes in one of the early sketches the demise of theatres around Drury Lane. He's also frequently interested, as he is in his novels, in the decline of earlier modes of transport. So more than once in the Uncommercial Traveller we encounter a former stagecoach driver who's now without an occupation. And so, as supportive as Dickens often was of progress, the Uncommercial Traveller is also a document for a London that was passing away.